Okay, I'm bored and I've been watching this girl's video. She's like a wildlife. She works at like a wildlife sanctuary, and she has a degree in like something to do with wildlife. I cannot remember at the moment, but I was watching her, and I've been like thinking about it. And since my special interest is My Little Pony, and usually when I'm like been thinking about something slightly hyperfixated on something, my brain's just like, let's connect it to the special interest. So that's what we're doing here. I'm talking about like the ways that I think uh, Equestria might deal with is sustainability. First of all, I do think that Equestria is like sustainable because like they have magic. I feel like they can like choose to like make things like sustainable. First off, I don't know if they have leather, and here's the thing: because of what leather is made out of, they wouldn't have like cow's leather because cows in the My Little Pony universe are sentient. So they wouldn't have cow's leather. So I'm not sure if they have like some sort of leather, and if they did, they would probably have some sort of like leather-like material. I wouldn't want to call it vegan leather because like they wouldn't have cow's leather. So like I don't know how they would get to vegan leather unless that's why they have pigs. Because pigs aren't sentient. I don't know if you could make leather out of pig skin, but if you can't, maybe that's where like leather's coming from. And like I've also been like thinking about like gelatin and like glue because those are two things that we know that they have, and like I don't think that they would come up, especially glue, because glue I believe is made out of horse hooves. I'm gonna have to like Google that because I've also been wondering just like how did we like get here? Not like why, but like why would someone do that? None of this just like you monster. Why would you do that? And it's just like, what was your goal for doing that? How did we get to that? How did we get to that like scenario? Like what was going through your head? I'm genuinely like curious. I could like I'm probably gonna go down a Googling rabbit hole to like figure that out, but like obviously that's not gonna be the case. Maybe gelatin because like they don't eat because they don't seem to eat meat, but at the same time Equestria is kinda in charge of like making sure the animals stay because there's a big notification because there's a big like notice about like the animals in the Everfree Forest care for themselves all by themselves, meaning that there are literally ponies whose entire job is to make sure the nature is naturing and the wild animals are wild animaling. I think that's Fluttershy's job actually, which would make sense because she's basically an animal caretaker for all of the animals in Ponyville because that's her job because that's what the ponies do. Dude, so maybe for like certain animals, like they would have to like I truly don't know what would be like going on. And like glue, I genuinely have no idea because again, glue made out of horses, really fucked up considering they are ponies. So like I don't know what glue is made out of because I don't know if like you could make like vegan glue or like not made out of horse glue. And I also think that like I think Equestria does have fast fashion, but they have sustainable fashion. Let me explain. So it's canon. So it's like canon that magic can fix something. You can't make something appear out of thin air or make something disappear. But like you could like say turn this water bottle into a tree, or at least a plant. Like you could turn this into something else, and it would be that something else. So it makes sense that if there's a garment that like you're not gonna that no one's gonna wear anymore, whether it's just ab style or it's like all torn up, you can literally transfix it into like a yard of fabric to make a new garment or something else entirely. So basically, I could see it as just like ponies transfix things that would be waste to be useful. So with like transfiguration, there wouldn't be like any waste because ponies would just be like, oh, this is a blanket that cannot be used anymore. It's like ragged and it's just like poop. Now it's a table. Oh, this just, and they basically make it into like something useful. So that I feel like that's how they handle like waste and stuff. It also makes sense how they'd be able to like go fast. I also personally think that Equestria like sees food and like housing as like a basic way. We do see like ponies buy food, but the way I see it is just like the government buys food for the people that for whatever reason don't have food, or the or for ponies that don't have jobs, that don't have jobs, or do stuff where it's just like they're not, so like you're technically being paid for like your hobby, because so like either the government buys the food and gives it to the ponies that need the food, or gives the ponies that need the food money to buy them food themselves. And I also just like think that just like you're just given a house, and I think Fluttershy the cottage, because that's where she was assigned to live when she took on the job. Same with like the Apple family kind of like built it up, and like so if the farm goes under, they'll be like perfectly fine financially. They'll still be able to get food. They just won't be able to work, and that's like the problem. It's more of just like this been in like a family, but they weren't ever in risk of like starving in like the in the first Flim Flam episode. Also, I don't think the first Appaloosa episode is canon. It like the more I think about it, it's like, first of all, it's just like it's kind of like trivializing and both sizing a really fucked up time in human history with like the natives and the settlers, which like no, like tried to be like, well the native buffaloes were also in the wrong, and it's just like, first of all, the native buffaloes are also not in the wrong. It'd be like, because they're just like, well, we need the land. You still took it. If I need a lung, I can't just take yours without permission. And also, it's just like no one thought to like talk it over. How would we write the episode? We write the episodes. The Appalachians have no idea that the buffaloes live on the land. The buffaloes are just like, hey, what the fuck? That's our land, and they're just like, oh, I didn't realize. Let's have a discussion on what the fuck we're gonna do, because we can't just like cut down all of the trees. Like, we need a place to put the trees. Like, let's have a discussion so we're on common ground, and where we can put the trees, because the trees have to go somewhere, and you need your land. So like, let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation, and then no fighting, and then they're just like, And granted, that conversation could just be, well, you can't have that land, like, move the trees somewhere else, and then all the trees just move to, like, all the other apple farms, and then Appaloosa just doesn't have an orchard. Or they just move their town entirely, because it's their fucking land, and they realize that. That done over, we mix. And, like, before we say, like, Zephyr, I think the case with, like, Zephyr is that, like, I don't think you pay for your home, but you do have to, like, go in the process of being like, hey, yo, I need someplace to live. And you do have to, like, you still have to go for, like, the finding the home and selecting a home and seeing if you're approved to, like, live there. Like, you still have to go through the home buying process. It's just that, like, the process includes, like, the buying. Like, you still have to find the home, you still have to probably find a realtor, and he's just like, and Zephyr's too lazy to do any of that. He just wants to mooch on one of his family members instead of going through the process of finding a home. He probably was given, like, a place to stay in, like, the university. That's probably where he lived, and because it might be, like, a kind of lengthy process, because finding a home that's suitable for you is a lengthy process, even if we just completely throw out budget. I do think ponies might need to pay for, like, real estate for, like, businesses. So, like, if Rarity wanted to move out of her boutique, she wouldn't have to buy a home outside of the boutique, but she did have to buy the boutique because the boutique's not just her home; it's a place of business. So you have to pay for places of business, but you don't have to pay for homes, if that makes sense. Just the way, like, I see it with, like, many, because, like, granted, it's a magical show that doesn't like to show us, like, the sad bits, but I really don't think there's, like, any homeless ponies or, like, anything about that. Like, I like to think that it's a magical world. That also has to do with, I don't like to think that this has ableism or transphobia or homophobia. That, and also it's a magical world with talking horses. I don't think a pony that was born a male saying that she's a girl would cross any